And these are their factory rejects. 421, 422, 423, 424, 425, 426, 427, 428. Like, I mean, it could just keep going. I could probably hammer out about 1,000 of these. And you can't do that with most suspensions. 26.8 pounds. The lightest snowmobile suspension ever made that meets or exceeds OEM quality. Unbelievable. By Next Tech Carbon Sled. Of course, we do sell them right here at Power Mods in various different forms, but I just kind of wanted to go through this and show this to you guys. We just received this in the mail. These have the Fox Evol shocks on them, the floats, so I'm just decompressing that. There's no air in them, but boy, oh boy, man. I remember the days of ripping suspensions out of Skidoo Tundras and MXZs. You could just bust your back, but this doesn't do it. The boys at Next Tech went right out of their way, and they're extremely creative, and the quality that and the engineering that they put into this are bar none the best. For any of you guys out there who are thinking that carbon fiber isn't as strong as what you usually get on your sled, you're completely wrong. I mean, they make wing spars out of them and aircraft propellers, and whenever they need a lightweight application that's extremely strong, they usually go with carbon fiber. Just because of the way it reacts, it can take the bends, and it's an amazing thing. So this one here is going to be going on my Polaris RMK Axis 800. You can get this for your Skidoo, your Yamaha, and you can even put it on your Arctic Cat if you want to make a couple of changes, depending on if it's an alpha or not. This is a 155-inch configuration. Everything on it is either carbon fiber or titanium. When it comes to these little idlers here, they actually machine these out of a special material that's extremely lightweight and then a little more, what would you say, a little stronger, a little more versatile than the normal rubber that you'd use. Just look at them. Pretty crazy. These sliders here are actually Polaris sliders. They've tried machining out these little areas on here right from the factory, so they lighten everything up. I'm not quite sure about the snow load, how it'll take that, but you know, just retaining the snow. But we'll test that as well. But the really good thing about carbon fiber is that you will notice that the snow doesn't really stick to it. It's got a very high gloss finish on it, and the snow just seems to flick right off there like no problem. As opposed to, say, an aluminum tunnel. You can see that on a cold day, how the snow and ice just stick to it and they just don't get off there. And of course, you're looking at a bunch of extra weight, which is what we don't want, especially when we're running something this light. So you can do a couple different things if you wanted to. If you wanted to use just the arms and suspension parts, you could put that on your stock rails, or if you want to keep all your normal suspension parts, the moving bits and pieces, you could put these carbon fiber rails on. It's all about weight loss and strength. You know, this carbon fiber, I think, is about 2 times the strength of steel, and it's pretty crazy. We've done some testing with it, and boys, if you break this, if you break the carbon fiber, then you're gonna really destroy your sled if it were just stock parts. Like, you're gonna write it off. It's pretty crazy the way this is built, actually. It's not made by normal carbon fiber molding processes. They have their own little secrets, the way that they do it. You can actually use your stock shocks if you wanted to, or we can upgrade to any one of the different various types of Fox there are, including their coil sprung shocks, the QS3s. Pretty incredible. One thing that they did do, they put a heim joint in the bottom part of this one shock here, because this bushing seems to go on the stock sleds quite often, but now there's a heim joint, so there's always flex and movement in your skid. Obviously you're pounding off things, and that's one of the things that go. So they looked after that. All the shafts are actually titanium. You'll notice that there are no grease fittings on this. Everything is sealed and lubricated. You never have to lubricate this thing. You never have to get under there and add grease to it. One thing you're gonna have to do though is at the end of every season, or depending on how hard you ride it, you're gonna have to look after the bearings that are inside these little idlers. Most of the time when we have issues with idler wheels going on, you had the worst possible time is because you didn't change them out. And they take a lot of abuse, especially these back ones. There's only 2 wheels on these now as opposed to the old ones that had wheels all the way across the back. And there's a lot of force, a lot of punishment, especially when you're wheeling all the time, coming down hard on things. These take a lot of abuse. So you're gonna wanna go in and change out your bearings. I know a lot of you aren't gonna want this. You guys riding the 1998 Tundras and the 76 Evinrudes, this isn't the suspension for you, but this is for guys who want something extremely strong and extremely lightweight. Now, a lot of us like lightweight sleds because you get to do more with them. They're easier to get out when you're stuck, and it just kind of makes riding a little bit more fun. I know it's easier on my back. That's why I kind of dig this stuff. Not only that, but I've been running these carbon sled parts for a long time. Their rails are just ridiculously strong. I've used their mono suspension. It was ridiculous. It came in at 29 pounds. If you're running a drag race sled or a hill climber, man, that's the suspension you're gonna want for sure. They kind of have a couple different configurations for this one even. It'll keep the front end down a little bit more, or if you want to do some more wheeling, it's kind of like the new geometry of the Chaos. Pretty cool, right? Imagine sitting there, not being able to snowmobile and just sitting on your computer designing this stuff the whole time. I feel sorry for the guys at Next Tech a little bit. We should take them out for a rip, eh, Simon? They're only going to be making so many of these, so you got to give us a call here at Power Mods. We'll set you up. We can also get these Fox floats for your sleds. Every brand, model, no problem. Front, rear, doesn't matter. We'll hook you up. Thanks for watching. That's not how rails get bent. You know, you got to try to bend it this way. Well, how are you going to do that? You know, that's a board. Well, that's a board. I'm popping the boards out of the crate. Is it bending?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at the board. You know, carbon fiber, man. I had a guy who does a lot of racing and whatnot, and I was telling him about these. He says, I don't know, those carbon fiber rails, man, I don't trust them. Why don't you trust them? You know, it's just something about them. I'm like, so you're running aluminum? Yep. Does aluminum bend? Yep. Carbon fiber is like 2 times stronger than steel. Oh, I don't know. I'm like, what do you want me to do? What more do you want me to do to show you guys? Hold on. How can I do this? This is. I'll throw that thing right over. I don't know. Can we drive the truck on top of it? Because it's because of that sharp angle on the steel. What? And these are their factory ejects. I'd still throw that on a sled and run that. Hold on. What else we got here? All right, ready? Don't you slide out of there on me. Boink. Well, you know, maybe we can straighten her out, Simon. There we go. I get her. Not too bad. Let me see. Did pretty well for that though, but it's not quite straight. You might catch a clip on the track. Yeah, I'm breathing hard. That one really worked me out over. What else do we got here? So this is a 137 inch rail. It weighs 2.81 pounds, under 3 pounds. Very strong. So there's no holes cut out of here. Like, they could pretty much do what you want, I guess. If you really wanted something that you could launch to the moon, ricochet off it and come back, you probably want no holes in here. And he puts the weights of all these on. These are heavy duty, man. Like, some of these are ridiculous. But that is pretty nuts. Yeah, it was just the epoxy on the outside of it that you could hear just.
Yeah, I don't think it was cracking it.
No.
It was just the.
Well, it was.
You were denting it, basically.
Yeah, just denting it. I wonder how many pounds we could lay on this thing before she busted. This one weighs 3 pounds. What can we hang off that? Why don't we lift up a sled? Do we have a sled right here to lift? We've got the IQR. How can we do that?
Forklift somehow?
So we use the forklift.
Put a chain in the middle of that. Like put the things all the way up.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Put a strap and lift the sled.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do that this way, and then we'll do, you know, and then we'll do it this way. I'm only 180 pounds. That's not heavy enough to play with this. So we rigged up the old Rev here. It's probably is 447 dry.
It's full of fuel now.
Full of fuel. It's right loaded up, and it's hanging on that. Watch out. We've got that rail just standing on edge because somebody's going to say, oh, you know, that's where it takes all the thing. It's got to be put in. So look at it. It's just dangling, boys. It's a dangler. Look at that. Now I'll lower it again, then we'll turn it sideways and we'll see what happens. That's 500 pounds. Over 500 pounds. Got to be. There now. Watch out. You notice I have I have my safety glasses on. Oh, wrong way. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens here. Oh my God. Whenever they need a high strength, lightweight application, they use carbon fiber. I mean, this is, what is this, Simon, 1/4 inch rod? I can't remember.
1/2 inch rod.
1/2 inch rod. Like, that is ridiculous. God.
And it's not full. It's
Yeah, it's a hollow tube. Take a look at this. Well, this is an access rail. Hey? Oh yeah. So they sent us a couple of rails. This is a beater rail that they had that really didn't pass their quality control. So of course we get to destroy it. Can you get a good shot from there, Simon? This is an access rail. I knew that was going to happen. And that's an access rail. I nearly killed myself. Did you see that? Just for you guys. You can do that again. We could. What else could we do with this? Hold on. We've been lucky. I'm hard on them. But we have never bent a carbon fiber rail. I knew that was going to happen too. I told them that when I was shooting that video, or before I shot the video. You know, I'm going to step on that thing and it's going to go flying out from underneath me. Here's a carbon fiber. Is it going to do it? You know, like this stuff, man. What can we do with this, Simon?
We'll do the same thing first.
Now, a lot of times, oh yeah, you know, that's not how rails get bent. You know, you got to try to bend it this way. Well, how are you going to do that?